Bismillah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Again, continuing today with the Prophet chapter 21, the prophets. And yesterday we stopped at the story of Sayyidina Jonah in the sea and the whale, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was able to deliver him after he supplicated to God and he basically confessed about what he have done, and that he knew and understood his mistake. As and this is a whole learning experience for us to learn, to see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are humans, we're susceptible to do a lot of mistakes. We're not angels. But at that time when the person realizes that he's doing a mistake, he need to go and ask for repentance, because you have the most merciful, who's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who will accept the supplication, the prayer of his slave. And even the slave, when he recognized his mistakes, his fault, he need to go back and he need to have that kind of intuition that I won't do this mistake again. I won't participate in this act again. I won't. If I have a friend who is basically, when I call him, we go outside and do things which we're not supposed to do, I will stop. I will cut ties with that friend. Uh, Again, it's a whole about self-evaluation. All these examples from all these prophets is self-evaluation. Each one of us, we have to go and really look at our actions, look at our deeds, look our what we're doing on a daily basis. Do I comply with the rules? Do I comply with the laws which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God have provided to us in the Quran, and also in the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. This is all, and then if you realize, you have to change. It's an ongoing process. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the story of Jonah, how he was saved after, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merciful. So He wants us to recognize that we're doing a mistake, recognize that we are repenting. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given Jonah, like we said, after he was the whale spilled him out to the sea, he found a tree of squash, which he was very, which they said is very nutrient. They had so many nutrition for him, so that's why he was able to gain back his health and be able to go back and preach the message. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, another example, which is Zakaria. And the story of Zakaria here, we have to understand all the time, expect the unexpected from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Expect the unexpected. Things looks gloomy, things can look bad, things can look, there is no hope, but in the blink of an eye, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer the supplication, the prayer of the believer. So we have here the example of Zechariah, and is nada rabbahu Rabbi la tadharni fardan wa anta khayrul warithin. Oh Allah, I mean, we said one of the things which these prophets are worried about is the inheritance, not inheritance of money, not inheritance of houses, mansions, stocks. No, 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 no. The inheritance of the guidance, the inheritance of the wisdom, the inheritance of the knowledge of the book. So the Sayyidina Zechariah was one of the most knowledgeable people about the Torah, and which have been revealed to Musa alayhi salam. So he was worried that he was a righteous man. He was one of the top priests, or you can say one of the top religious leaders at this time in the place of worship at this time. But he wanted it to have somebody who will inherit this kind of knowledge from him, and will able also, because remember, when you have somebody who is a prophet, or anybody who's doing something good for the sake of God, he won't this, even if he died, his actions, because he led others. He basically encouraged others. He made others do, or invited others to do the good deeds, the good actions. What will happen is he will gain the same reward these people are doing. So, for example, you somebody who wasn't a Muslim, you let him understand Islam, understand what's really Islam, who is Muhammad, what's the Quran, all these things, and this person become a Muslim. Anything this person will do, you will get the reward for it, as somebody who started that process. So this is the same thing with these prophets. He wanted somebody who he can. That's why also Prophet Abraham, he asked God to have his progeny to be righteous, to be the prophets, to be from it, the prophets, the messenger come from him. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have granted. Since Abraham, all the prophets, all the messengers are from the lineage of Isaac or the lineage of Ishmael. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so when you're asking God for somebody to, because imagine at that age, he had no offspring and he wanted to have a son. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, we have answered his call. وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُ يَحْيَى, and indeed we give him John, Yahya or John, as an inheritor. He inherited his wisdom, he inherited the knowledge, he inherited the wisdom of understanding of the law, understanding of the Torah or the Torah. وَأَصْلَحْنَا لَهُ زَوْجَهُ, and indeed we treated his wife. His wife was she was barren, unable to carry, and unable to have children. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have fixed her, have cured her. إنهم كانوا يسارعون في الخيرات ويدعوننا رغبا ورهبا وكانوا لنا خاشعين. Indeed, one of the main reasons Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that I will remove the calamity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, I will remove the hardships, the suffering, all this stuff from anybody. I will give, it's what you basically you're doing. For example, when you have a business and you have workers, and one of the top performing worker in your place, one day they didn't wake up on time, they came late, or another day they were sick, another day, here and there, you will basically, and even they need, say something happened to them, their car broke down, they don't have money, so you will go ahead in their hardship, you will be hastened as a business owner, because that's one of your top performing employees. You will go ahead and help them, support them, give them what they need at the time of need. And that's what's happening with these prophets and these messengers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that this can also be taken, this ayah, as the scholar said, it can be taken for Elizabeth, who's the wife of Sayyidina Zachariah, or for all the prophets. What was reason for God saving them or saving Zachariah and his wife is إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا يُسَارِعُونَ, they were top performers. They will go hasten towards good deeds. In needy, I'll help. Somebody who need support with anything, they will go and help. Somebody doesn't have the understanding of the truth about somebody doesn't have the understanding about Islam, I'll go explain to him and tell him what is the truth, what's Islam, what is supposed, why God created us, what are you supposed to do here on earth, what's going to happen after death. You hasten, you're doing everything, you're working for God. So this God, when you ask him for one thing in a hardship or something you need, God will give it to you. And this is exactly what's happening here. إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا يُسَارِعُونَ, they will hasten, they will go quickly, do good deeds. The prayers you go, somebody who's sick, they go visit. Somebody who's in need, they go and try to help him. All that stuff. إنهم كانوا يسارعون في الخيرات ويدعوننا. And then just not that, just not just but the all that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means you doing all these things for Allah's pleasure. You want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be happy. You want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to compensate you in the hereafter with the paradise. وَيَدَعُونَنَا. And then they supplicate, they pray to Allah and said, رَغَبًا, hope. رغبا, رغبة, hope. They have hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He will accept all these deeds, that He will fulfill the promises which He have given, which He have told them. ورهبا, and have fear. Have fear that, fear not from, fear that, oh, they'll be close to to hell. They'll be close to the torture. Why is that? Why you have to, when you worship Allah, you have to have that balance between hope and fear. Because if you have only hope, you'll be unrealistic. Like unrealistic, because what? You'll put everything to false hope mood. Because, oh, because I said La ilaha illallah, or because I said the Islam, because I'm Muslim, I'm going to the paradise. No, it does. There's no guarantee. You have to work, you have to act, you have to prove your iman, you have to prove your La ilaha illallah with actions. With actions. And then you have, on the other hand, some people don't have the fear. When you don't have the fear, you lack the effort. They won't keep doing. So, oh, I'm already, will be saved. What does that mean? That means you're gonna you'll indulge in the daily temptations. You'll indulge in everything around you. You'll be indulged in all the misconceptions you have around you. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to be balanced when we are worshipping Him. وَكَانُوا لَنَا خَاشِعِينَ. And indeed, you go to God with humility, humbleness, that you're not doing God a favor. That really God gave you a favor when He made you an obedient servant. So being an obedient servant is not a favor to God. When somebody is saying, oh, I'm a Muslim, oh, I'm a this and that, you're doing, Allah have made you. So this is a favor from God. So you have to really appreciate it, and you have to be a role model. You have to be the best Muslim you can be in order for you to be admitted, and in order for you to be, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you in the hereafter, and also in this life. وَالَّتِي, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stern. So here we can say expect the unexpected. Zechariah was so old, his wife was barren and also old, and they have no hope to have a son. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He have given them the offspring. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us another thing for our brothers, our Christian brothers and sisters, to tell them that Isa, the birth of Isa, the birth of Jesus, was just a miraculous birth. He's not a man, he's not a God, he's not a God, he's not a God, he's not a son of God. He's just a prophet. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even in this is called the prophet. He's a prophet. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning him and his mother. They're just normal people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have or make a miracle for, so basically to test the people, so people can use their intellect and try to understand how God will be a human. How God will be a human who's limited, who need to go to the bathroom, who cries, who is hungry, how you can't even take care of yourself. How are you going to be taking care of all the humanity? How are you going to be able to take humanity and also all the creation, all the sun, the moon, how are you going to be able to take care of that if you cannot take it? So that's why Isa is not a son of God. He is not even God. وَالَّتِي أَحْسَنَتْ فَرْجَهَا, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about Mary, and she, the one who have protected her chastity. فَنَفَخْنَا فِيهَا مِنْ رُوحِنَا. Indeed, we have sent angel Gabriel to blow in her. وَجَعَلْنَاهَا, blow on her, so she became pregnant. وَجَعَلْنَاهَا, blow on her and become pregnant. That's just what happened. He's no more than, he's not a son, he's not God's, nothing like that. وَجَعَلْنَاهَا وَإِبْنَهَا آيَةً. Indeed, we made Mary and her son. Ibnaha, she's not, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, he is the son of Mary. That's it. وَإِبْنَهَا, not the son of God, not the son of anybody else. He's the only son of Mary. He has only his mother. وَإِبْنَهَا آيَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We have made her and her son a sign, a test, a way to test people for the whole humanity. إِنَّ هَذِهِ أُمَّتُكُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً وَأَنَا رَبُّكُمْ فَاعْبُدُونَ. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, this nation, the nation of these prophets, are one nation. Why one nation? Remember, one nation, they have, what really a nation, why a nation considered a nation? Number one, they have one constitution. Number two, they have one flag. Number three, they have the same worshiping, to an extent, the same beliefs, the same norms, the same customs. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that these prophets, their constitution is La ilaha illallah. There is no God worthy of worshiping other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. And this is the commonality with all these prophets. Number one. Number two, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us here that also these prophets, these messengers are ummah. And ummah is a person, like we say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a different ayah, He said to Abraham, talked about Abraham alayhi salam or Ibrahim alayhi salam, that he was an ummah. He is a nation. Why? They said the nation here, first of all, he was like a flame which keep giving light, a flame where everybody come and take a torch from him. Like who? Like you see the Sayyidatna Sarah. She became she became a believer because of Abraham. You see Hajar, our mother Hajar, she became a believer when she came from Egypt. So she became a believer because of Abraham. You see Lot, he became a believer because of Sayyidina Ibrahim. So he was a nation who was the one who was teaching the people the goodness. And the first teaching of the goodness is La ilaha illallah. There's only God, the only God worthy of worshipping is Allah. He controls everything. He controls my life, your life. He controls whatever is going to happen to you, whatever is going to happen in the future, whatever happened in the past, everything He controls. And that's why you have to be dependent, you have to be a worshiper, because He's the one who controls. He can give you happiness, He can give you sadness, He can the one. So be obedient to Him at all the time. You'll gain. You'll gain in this life and in the hereafter. So we said the nation is all of these prophets are under one umbrella, are under one nation. The nation of righteousness, the nation of the worshipping of God alone, no partner, no partners, no associating no partners with Him. Allah subhanahu ummatan wahida. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so all this nation of the Prophet is one nation. And this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ana rabbukum. And I am the one who is the educator, the teacher, the God of everybody, including these prophets. Fa'budun, worship me. Worship me. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. Worship me, because in His word, and this is not, Allah doesn't want to be like, it's not selfishness from God, because He has angels worshiping day and night. But no, this is the way He created us, and He knows what our deficiencies, and He knows that the only way to be able to save, protect, spread goodness, doing the righteous deeds, stop bloodshed, stop animosity, stop atrocities on earth, is by worshiping Him, is by being obedient to Him, by doing the prayers to Him, by treating others, no steal, no cheat, be trustworthy individual, be honest, all these good qualities. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that these are the qualities. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to worship Him, because you'll gain again, because you will understand. You'll have that connection. When you have that connection, this all what's happening will protect you, will prevent you from doing the sins. وَتَقَطَّعُوا أَمْرَهُمْ بَيْنَهُمْ كُلٌّ إِلَيْنَا رَاجِعُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, this of years is only one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's saying for a society, وَتَقَطَّعُوا, after this, people have came into debates. People have came into arguments. People have the false God narratives, the false, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said that everybody who, the people divided, hate each other. I am better looking. My skin color is white, my skin color is black, my skin color is this, that, my language, where I came from. So the devil, jealousy, all this stuff happened, which created animosity and hate, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling that you guys, all of you, especially this Abrahamic religion, came from prophets who only have the same flag, which La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, same constitution, same laws of obedience and fairness and justice. So, but people have split. They divided. And that's why wars, bloodshed, animosity, and the devil, and that is what the devil is doing. He took over the control. He took control over the people. بينهم كل إلي. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said everybody who's going to come back to us. And I will be able to judge the one who did good, the one who stopped, the one who was calling for goodness and honesty and saving human lives and stop bloodshed will be saved. The other person who's keep propagating the one blood, propagating revenge and animosity, he will be judged in the hellfire. فمن يعمل من الصالحات وهو مؤمن فلا كفران لسعيه وإنا له كاتبون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that whoever will do good, righteous deed, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that doing the righteous deed, the deeds, what kind of righteous deed? The deed which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to do in the Quran. Okay, so anybody who's going to come with something from his invention, it doesn't consider righteous deed. That's number two. That righteous deed has to be according to the teaching of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Is this enough? No. He has to be mu'min. وَهُوَ mu'min. Indeed, he has his deposits in the right account. In the right account means it is only, he's only doing all these deeds for Allah, for La ilaha illallah, because he knows that the only people who are not going to help him, humanity is not going to help him, his family is not going to help him, his sons are not going to help him, his daughters are not going to help him, nobody is going to help him other than Allah, and he is the one who will reward him, will accept. Once Allah accepted that deposit of deeds, because it was in the right account, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, you're doing it only for the sake of Allah, and according to the way the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ have done it, the person will be saved. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Allah will not gonna deny this deposit of deed. Imagine if you deposit your checks in the wrong account, denied. It's gonna go back because the account is wrong. Number two is also there is a way you deposit your check. It's not a way, it's not, there is a way. You have to put it in the right. You cannot say you put depositing checks on an ATM machine. You cannot deposit them where the cash goes. It's gonna be denied, rejected. So you have to put it in the right, which the slot which says checks. This is all of it is just common sense. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one who is world great, and He wants everything being done according to his teachings, his orders, and the teachings and the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, فَلَا كُفْرًا will never gonna, they will accept his deed, will accept, and will never gonna deny those. وَإِنَّا لَهُ كَاتِبُونَ. And indeed, everything we have written in the form of videos, written in the form of electronic, any form, paper, all the forms, because he's the creator, he's the teacher, he's the one who teaches actually all this technology we have is just some little part of his knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said in the next ayah, وَحَرَامٌ عَلَى قَرْيَةٍ أَهْلَكْنَاهَا أَنَّهُمْ لَا يَرْجِعُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when he did give his decree, after he gives so many chances to a town, a certain amount of people, a certain people, who he will be sending the prophets. One of the main primary function of the prophets is to warn people. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I'm gonna keep, one of the things. So people are gonna be warned, but this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then the people keep insisting on doing the wrong thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I'll destroy it. I will destroy it. I can destroy it here and or in the hereafter, these people will be held in hellfire. But he said, once the judgment, because the kuffar, the people of Mecca, the Meccans, or even here, where is Allah? People are questioning, where is God? Where is God's judgment? Where is God? You have coronavirus, you have earthquakes, you have hurricanes, you have tornadoes, you have all this. It's just a small messages God is sending to us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here that when I decree, after all these reminders, when I decree my judgment, whatever it's in here or in the hereafter, it's done. Nobody can come back. Nobody can be say it's over. So what is Allah trying to tell us? Is Allah telling us just when the warning comes to you, act upon it. Don't ignore it. Just when you see there is truth, make more search. Try to understand more. Try to look. If you have doubts about anything, try to ask people who understand, Islam, understand the truth, can explain to you what the fact of the matters. Because this is the only truth exists, honestly speaking. أقول قولي هذا استغفر الله لي ولكم سائر المسلمين.